Welcome back to Broken Bobby's Transformation Page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, there is no retirement plan at Kern Valley State Prison for an inmate, obviously. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and be sure to share the video. It really helps to get the message out. Also, hit that notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video or I go live, you will be notified and you can check it out when you're ready. So this happened on August the 9th, 2024 at approximately 10:43 a.m. A couple of inmates, Raymond Rojas and Tyler Ostertag, allegedly attacked Johnny Victor. CDC officers did their thing to quell the incident, but ultimately Johnny Victor would succumb to his injuries. Now, Johnny Victor, and I'll put their pictures up here for you so you can see who these guys are, was 66 years old, and he was taken to prison triage where he was treated for his injuries he sustained during the attack. Responding paramedics pronounced him unalive at 11:22 a.m., like 40 minutes after the initial attack. Rojas and Ostertag were removed and put into restrictive housing unit. This is all too common these days in the California Department of Corrections. And, the thing is, Mr. Victor, I don't know why this happened. There's there's typical reasons these things happen in the Department of Corrections. It could be from a debt. It could be from a disrespect issue. It could be from a lot of different things. But I'm assuming based on the different races involved in this being Kern Valley, that this happened on an SNY yard. Now, I don't know that to be for sure, but that wasn't something typical that would happen on a main line where different races would attack each other and there wouldn't be any further incident. So, a little more background on these guys that were involved. Victor was received from Merced County in 1987. This guy had been down for 37 years on a second-degree murder. He was serving life with the possibility. Like I said, he was 66 years old. That's wild. Tyler Ostertag was 29. He was received from Ventura County in 2019, so he hasn't been down that long, like 5 years. He was a third striker with a dangerous weapon and persuading witnesses. So, there's that. And then you have Mr. Rojas, Raymond Rojas. He was only 25 years old. He was received from Kern County in 2022. He got LWOP, life without parole, for discharge of a firearm at an inhabited dwelling causing great bodily injury. I believe he was also third striker. But the reason that I wanted to cover this story in particular, like I said, this happened August the 9th. That's like 10 days ago already. And I just hadn't got to it yet. But, okay, so you got the victim, 66. This is retirement age. The thing is, I'm sure drugs and alcohol played a role And all of these people ended up in prison. And had they not taken that route, things would have been a lot different. But, like I said, Mr. Victor was 66 years old. His alleged attackers were 29 and 25. Now, in the free world, you might call that elder abuse. You might call that a hate crime. You might call that a lot of things. If you've seen something like that happening in public, you'd probably try to intervene, because an old man getting beat up by two youngsters isn't a good look. But the thing is, in the world of prison, it's just another thing, people probably saying better him than me, because, they, when you mess up, they're going to be coming for you. And, if you add both of the alleged attackers' ages together, it's still less than Mr. Victor's. So, I don't know. There's some people that are in their 60s that are straight beast in the department, in the system when I was there. They had this thing, if you were over 50, you could be on like old man status, as they put it, where you didn't have to work out. You just had to like jump if a riot kicked off or something. But there were a couple of dudes that I knew that were well into their 50s, maybe into their early 60s, that could outwork me any day of the week. And, that's the reality of prison. You have to stay ready, no matter how old you are. And that's the point of this video. There is no retirement plan when you go to prison. So, when we're young, we don't think about, what's going to be going on 20, 30, 40 years from now. But Mr. Victor went to prison in 1987. Here we are in 2024, 37 years later, he's still in prison. So, it's, all these guys were lifers. They all had, hot ones under their belt. And, the saying, if you live by the knife, you die by the knife. Well, this is kind of that. But, how many people's families were affected by this? Like I said, these guys were all lifers. So for Mr. Ostertag and Mr. Rojas, I hope I'm saying that correctly, like they were on, I'm looking real quick just to confirm. I believe they were all life without, or maybe life with. But, Mr. Victor, he was life with parole. 37 years later, he's still in there. So, and the thing is, you can get drugs and stuff in there as well. So a lot of times that will factor into, perhaps that's why Mr. Victor never got out. I don't know that he had any felonious habits like that in there. But, if you're using in the system, chances are at some point you're going to screw up and you're going to owe a cleanup. And basically, what that means is that now you have to go put in some work to clean up the situation. And I don't know if that was Mr. Victor's case or not, but like I said, I knew even on the streets, I knew some soldiers that were well into their 60s and wouldn't take a step back from a 25-year-old any day. But in the world of freedom, that seems extreme to have two youngsters like that get on an old man. But this is prison, guys. So, the thing is, if we don't do things to put ourselves in situations where we end up in these institutions, then, we can actually have a 401k type of thing and maybe actually get a retirement someday. It's all about the decisions that we make and, compounding good decisions. Don't let a bad decision ruin our day. And, building that foundation around us that's going to help us to proceed with sobriety and to continue on, fighting the good fight, basically. Because, you can, I didn't do much time in prison, but I got away with a lot of stuff, if I'm being perfectly honest. Should have did a lot more time. I was just very lucky and some people aren't so lucky. So hope everybody's week is off to a good start. Let's keep pushing in the right direction. Sorry I didn't get a live in this weekend. Excuse me. It was just a little busy, and to be honest, I just needed a little time to relax away from the YouTube thing. So I'll try to push out some shorts during the week like I usually do. And I'll probably have another video out Wednesday or Thursday, so be on the lookout for that as well. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that allowed me to get my life back together, and they can help you as well. You know, if you're thinking about getting into sobriety, today's a great day to get started. So, you know, if I could do it, you could do it. Don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.